So I have an awesome presentation set up that was a pain in the butt to get set up because I insisted on making it pretty for you guys. So I hope that's good. But I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for the amazing opportunity to be going to Ottawa to participate in this program. As Grant said, I had expressed interest in it previously, but this year I'm actually really thankful that I went this year instead of a previous year because my sort of trajectory changed, and I had wanted to be a doctor for a long time, and I wanted to go to Queens, and I was very excited. And then I decided that I had more passion for teaching, and I decided I wanted to go to Ottawa because I also have a passion for politics and being in a politics city. And so then when I got the opportunity to go to Ottawa this year, it meant a lot more to me because I got to be in the place where I am planning on going to school in the fall. And not only that, we also stay in the 9DU dormitories at U Ottawa for the duration of the program. So I got to check out what one of the dorms looked like among the several ones they have. So it was very important to me, aside from just the citizenship portion. So this is just a picture of us at this restaurant we went to on our last day on the harbor in Ottawa. And if we go to the next slide, I can start talking about the highlights of my days. Perfect. So we got there. Day one was technically the travel day, but this is the second day that we were actually there and we had stayed the night. So in the morning, we had a Citizenship 101 session, and Jake Sawatsky, who is one of the youngest MPs in Canada, spoke to us at the university campus in the presentation room about what it's like to be a youth in Parliament. And then we had this awesome double-decker bus tour of Ottawa, and I got to go on the top of the bus, and I was very excited about that. I like ran there, very immature, but it was worth it in the end. And we got to go all around. We went across the border to Gatineau. We got to see all kinds of stuff. The picture on the right there is in front of the National Arts Center, where I performed improv back in April, which was pretty cool with the Canadian Improv Games. But that's a pretty well-known statue with the spider, and it's got the eggs in the spider statue. And then in the evening, we took a bus out to Quebec to L'Ange Gardien to go have like a traditional French family style meal. It was really awesome. We sat at a table with like 14 seats. We all had to pass the food around and share it. And it was a really awesome way to get to know the people that we were going to be on the program with. And then they had some French music and they taught us how to dance. And then we did a tour of the Sugar Shack, and we got to have some of the frozen maple candy. So it was a very, very Canadian evening. If we go to the next slide, perfect. Day two was I was the most excited for. That picture in the middle is actually me posed up sitting in Mark Carney's seat in the House of Commons. We got a really awesome tour of Parliament. We got to go into the House of Commons, and the Speaker of the House spoke to us. Some of the pages spoke to us, and they spoke to us about the page program, which I would love to do if I was bilingual. But unfortunately, I don't know a lick of French. And then we got to go afterwards to another building on the a different wing and do a MP meet and greet. Chris Millette could not make it. Unfortunately, he had a meeting with the Armed Forces Committee. But a lot of people got to meet their actual MPs. We had three of them from different parties speak to us and do like an open Q&A for anyone who didn't get to meet theirs. Had a really awesome lunch. And then we got to walk back to the campus, and we had a talent show that evening, which was really awesome. People got to bring instruments or traditional dances. Someone played Sweet Caroline for like 6 minutes, and everyone sang. It was amazing. So this was a really great day. Yeah, a very exciting day for me, for sure. Day three was really interesting. We had our whole morning was this program called Activism Through Art. And so that's the bottom right picture there. We got sorted into groups and we all made banners with an issue that we were passionate about in the group and a saying to go along with that. And we did these sort of like they put music on and we just like freely drew. And it was definitely different than the other stuff we had done throughout the program. But then at the end of the program, which I'll talk about on the next slide, we actually hung these banners up, and I'll talk more about that. And then because this was our last full day, we had a dinner and a dance, which was the first picture I showed you. So it was delicious. It was this great multiple course meal, and we had the dance, and then we got to ride the double-decker bus back to the dorms, which was like great at like 10:30 p.m. A bunch of teenagers screaming on the top of a double-decker bus while everybody's trying to enjoy their evening. Yeah, so if we go to the next slide, this was the day that I think stuck with me the most. Firstly, we went on a U Ottawa tour early in the morning, and it wasn't from an actual tour guide with the university. It was from somebody who works for Rotary, but had graduated in the last like 5 years, I think he said. And so he got to show us like little things that maybe a tour guide wouldn't think to put in their script, kind of a thing. We got to have a more personalized tour, which was really important to me. Then we got to actually watch a citizenship ceremony. And at the dinner the night before, the judge of citizenship came, like who was doing the ceremony the next day, came to our dinner, and we could ask her any questions we wanted to ask. And then the next day, we got to actually watch her make 37 new Canadians, actual Canadians in our country, which was incredible. I can't actually put into words how amazing that was to watch people from 17 different countries call Canada home now and make that active choice for something that I wake up every day and kind of take for granted. And we got to hang our banners that we did the activism through art all along the auditorium where we had the citizenship ceremony. And we got flags and we got to wave them for people. And it was really nice because some people came and they didn't have any family with them. So we got to kind of be their 130 biggest fans. So that was it. Really touched my heart. Those pictures aren't loading, and I'm not quite sure if I remember what they were, but I hope they weren't important. But the one on the left is the double-decker bus. And then we said goodbyes. Everybody kind of had different departure times. I drove to Ottawa, so my departure time was just to get on the bus to go back to the train station where I left my car. So it was a little bit less emotional than people who were leaving later in the day after a lot more getting ready for that. But yeah, and then this is just a collage of other pictures I took. Some breakfast. We had breakfast in the dining hall every morning, which was really good because then I got to know kind of what I'm preparing myself for in the fall. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, I would love to answer some.
I have a question for you. Great presentation, Bob. I'm glad you really enjoyed this and taking it seriously and having fun too. So you got to sit in the Prime Minister's chair.
Yeah.
Two things. One, how did that feel? And two is, if you were in there permanently, what would you say about the 50% tariff?
Oh man, I did not prepare for this PR event. It felt really cool to sit there because I know that we got a special permission to be in the House of Commons, and most people, like, you don't just get to go do that if you do a tour of Parliament. I went on a tour of Parliament back in April when my improv team went to nationals. Chris Millette took us on a tour, and we weren't allowed to go in there, so it was really interesting because I know that not everybody who comes around gets to sit in that chair. Sitting in any of them was pretty great. I actually sat on the well, I forget the name, but basically the conservative side of the room for the entire presentation, and that felt kind of interesting. And then to switch over and sit in Mark Carney's seat. But no, it felt really cool. I think I was like one of the first ones in our group to actually think to go over and find the seat and sit in it. So it wasn't like it was still warm from somebody else's good idea that I stole. But yeah, it felt really cool. The 50% tariff, I think I'm gonna have to leave that one for Mark. Yeah.
You're going to be a good politician.
Thank you.
Well, Thomas, I went to the citizenship ceremony once, and I was pretty astounded to learn that at the time they swore allegiance to the Queen at the time. And I thought, really? I mean, aren't we past that? But that was just me. So is that still what they?
It is to the king now, obviously, but it's fully optional, I believe. We got a package with a bunch of stuff in it, and among that was a book that you get when you become a citizen, and it was just about all these facts about Canada, and then at the end it had the oath that you take, and that part it was in brackets because you can say it or you can withhold from saying it. I think you can just swear, like you can just say I swear, yada yada yada, instead of I like pledge to the king. I'm 99% sure it was fully optional to pledge to the king.
Good, excellent presentation. My question to you is kind of twofold. What sort of political activity will you get involved with when you get to Ottawa? And the second is, we have MP Danielle Martin coming here on August the 26th to Carlo Estates, and she's expected to be the new Minister of Health.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't know
actually
about
there's a
that.
youth break. But tell me about what you're looking forward to from a political standpoint when you get to Ottawa.
I think I'm mostly just interested in having the firsthand experience of actually being in the city where change is happening and conversations are being had. But I have spoke to Chris Millett. We talked a lot at the tour of Parliament that I had with him, and he was talking to some of us who are more interested in politics. And my friend and I are both going to be in Ottawa, and he said that if wanted, we could be worked into the campaign and help him out in some way. So I'm really excited to just learn more about the opportunities, but I don't exactly have a set goal in mind. But just keep my options open, kind of a thing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone else? That was really good, Thomas. All I want to say is your enthusiasm is very obvious.
Thank you.
Very obvious. And congrats.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Thomas. I've known Thomas for several years, but he's a cadet. He's as part of our program to promote youth. Here's an example of it. Now, we took this little boy as cadets from, he was what, 12 years old when this started?
I actually joined late. I joined when I was 15. I know I advanced those ranks real fast.
Well, he was, you learned a lot from cadets. And as